I need money. I need cash fast. Give me the bag. Give me the bag.
Philadelphia Eagles 2025 issues. 2025 was a trying year for Philadelphia. It was exactly 1 year after the 2024 Super Bowl win over the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a great year for Philadelphia. They were a fine tuned machine with everything going in their favor. They had the number one rushing game, they had the tush push, they had an elite back in Saquon Barkley, they had an elite batch of receivers in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and a favorable tight end by the name of Dallas Goedert. Eagles has the best offensive line in the NFL. They have a defensive line to match. Their secondary is top 10, and they have linebackers that definitely get the job done. You would think, with all I mentioned, 2025 would have been a cakewalk for the Philadelphia Eagles. To my dismay, this was not the case. With the loss of the offensive coordinator who accepted head coaching responsibilities in New Orleans, this left a questionable sized crater in the operation of the Philadelphia Eagles. It doesn't seem so significant on paper. It was blaring to see on game day. The well oiled, fine tuned machine showed slips and misses that were uncharacteristic of a paper tiger team. They didn't make a drastic change in their makeup. What it showed was that something so small and so simple could cause a machine to miss badly. In addition to missing a good offensive coordinator, they were missing key players due to exodus or injury. There was also a critical component on offense that was severely missing. They could not run as effectively as they did in the previous season. It also seemed as if they couldn't make critical adjustments when the game was on the line. The defense did what it could to keep the soul of the team together, but the handicap of not being able to run was a blaring weakness that people really didn't speak of. This put Jalen Hurts in a peculiar predicament. It made him have to solely try and win games with his arm. This proved to not being such a good strategy. If you look at revisionist history, you would know that Jalen was a bit turnover prone. The run game was the element that cured his turnover woes. Barkley not being able to break the big one, or Hurts being undecided on when to run, caused the offense mayhem in the backfield. Teams knew if they made the defending champs one dimensional, it hurts, no pun intended, their chances of winning. A well thought out plan that helped to see the Eagles' eventual playoff demise. Most games that are tight comes down to a few factors. The number one factor is coaching. Coaching is the way adjustments are made. The coaches take what they see on film in real time, coupled with the inputs of players to adjust to what opposition is doing. Superior play calling is wonderful when you are winning, but it does nothing when the game is tight or the team is losing. The fact that a coach can make slight adjustments and tweaks to the game is where the coach's value becomes most relevant. This is what the Eagles lacked the most. It showed throughout the season because the offensive coordinator was the most questioned coach in the Eagles' woe of a season ago. The inability to sustain runs and drives, the lower percentage of the success of the tush push, the exposing of accuracy of Jalen Hurts, the constant bickering of A.J. Brown were all signs that the season was in jeopardy. The Eagles started the season with dreams of repeat. They ended the season with pools of regret. There were a plethora of fingers to point. there were a pulse of failure that seemed profound. With every chance of the Eagles' success on the line, there was a deep seed of doubt planted. We are in an era of the NFL where it has a precedence of passing and high-scoring games. The Eagles in 2024 proved that traditional football is still the best way to neutralize these fast-paced, high-scoring teams. To not mirror that 2024 success. Instead, it mirrored sporadic gameplay and signaled a hiatus from what brought success to the franchise. 2025 proved, if nothing else, that continuity is the key to effectiveness. The offense always looks great on paper against the opposing defense. I would say in 2025, don't bet on it. I won money in parlays, but it was oftentimes not with the Eagles in 2025. If you think back, the Eagles struggled down the stretch in 2025 to make it in the playoffs. They lost to San Francisco in the first round wild card game at home. They was at home. It was no doubt a questionable performance by A.J. Brown, who had some horrific drops and an underwhelming effort. A.J. Brown only needed to catch one of his drops for the Eagles to win the game. His effort was indicative of the offensive coordinator. In 2025, the Eagles won 11-6. They won the NFC East. They lost in the wild card round to the San Francisco 49ers, 19-23. The defense allowed 325 points, 13th in the NFL standings. They scored 379 points on 3,498 passing yards and 1,988 rushing yards. If you remember, in 2024, Barkley had 2,000 yards himself. His 2024 season was almost half of his 2024 effort, with 1,140 rushing yards with 7 rushing touchdowns. The Eagles were 18th in rushing yards. They were 23rd in passing. In my estimation of the Eagles going forward, I feel that the team should be in better hands. Hopefully they go back to the positive yard ground game that many fans thought they would become accustomed to with the acquisition of Saquon Barkley just a few years ago. We just knew that we had the dream team. We would win 3-4 Super Bowls. But what happened? That dream was derailed. It was derailed by the movement of coaches and players that a fan doesn't really observe. A fan is just looking for results, not excuses. A fan believes that their team will win against all odds. But good coaching cannot be mistaken for anything else. It's good coaching. And we need to stick to that as Eagles fans, as the team, in order to go forward. In 2024, 2017 were examples of good coaching in play, because 2017, they won a Super Bowl with good coaching. 2018, they fell flat on their faces. 2024, they won it with good coaches. 2025, flat on their faces. So history shows that you must keep that continuity together to win the big one. And that's my take.
You know I love you more than I can say. I hope we never ever go our separate way. I need money. I need cash fast. Give me the bag. Nigga. Give me the bag. Nigga.